Hi there, my name's Noni Carr from Enhanced Life Psychology. Today, as flagged earlier, I'm coming to have a brief chat to you about the podcast with Wayne Schwass, Puka-Up Podcast, where he was interviewing, I'm going to have a look at my computer, Van Cuylenberg, who is the director and facilitator of the Resilience Project. And so this this episode of his podcast actually aired from the 24th of January this year. It is available on Podcast One as well as on iTunes. But I am coming to talk to you about one little aspect that he spoke about on his podcast that I really liked, and it's something that I talk about a little bit with some of my clients in terms of gratitude. And so Hugh spoke about gratitude, empathy, and mindfulness. I can't believe I forgot that word. I talk about mindfulness a lot. And so when he spoke about gratitude, he was talking about the fact that sometimes we get so caught up in the big things that we're grateful for that we forget to talk about other things. But what he talks about in terms of his gratitude is actually focusing on the things that went well. So a nice little way of remembering it's WWW, so what went well. And I have spoken about this with clients in the past, but in terms of gratitude, so writing a gratitude journal or talking about the things that we're grateful for with our families in the evenings. So it's great with kids as well. But it's this idea of talking about three things that went really well during the day, three good things, three things that you're feeling grateful for having happened today. I might, when I'm talking about this, I might talk about this with my clients, things that I'm grateful for today or things that have happened that are good today, or what went well today. And I'm sitting here, so it's a Friday, I'm actually over at Performance Edge Psychology in Baldwin, and I'm looking out a window where I can see the sky, and I am incredibly grateful for the blue sky this afternoon. I drove to work this morning in drizzly, wet weather, and now I get to look out at the blue sky, and I will see if I can turn this around and show you. So you see the beautiful blue sky, and I get to look out at the blue sky, or I don't, my clients do, and I get to walk back to my car in sun without having to open up my umbrella, even though I have it with me. And so this is something that went well for me. It's also a wonderful thing, even though our client has moved from 4:30 to 4 o'clock, so I get to finish earlier today. So this is another great thing that's going well for me today. So these are, if we think about these things that go well, things that we're grateful for during the day, and we do this on a daily basis, and we can talk about this, we can write about it in a journal, and there are some interesting stories about how people communicate these things that they're grateful for, or things that have gone well during the day in the podcast. So definitely go and have a listen to it. But the evidence or the research around gratitude is that when we shift our focus from this negative bias of everything's not great, things are just awful, to and when we start focusing on the things that are going well, the things that we're grateful for, we start learning or reinforcing, developing this positive bias. So we are able to shift our focus from all the bad things that might be happening, or this filter that we're looking at the world from. We might be able to shift from that negative filter to a filter of, things are not great, but actually there's all this good stuff that happens, and we start looking for these good things. And if we, one of my recommendations when I talk about gratitude journals with my clients is try not to repeat yourself. I know it's really hard. We get into this habit of thinking about all these big things that we're grateful for, having a job, having a home, our families, and these things. We can absolutely be grateful for these and express gratitude for these things on a daily basis, because that is a good thing. But when we start focusing on those really little things that we might be grateful for, the good cup of coffee that you had, or the fact that you had that one moment where you could take a few moments to take a few slow breaths and actually breathe and just sit or just be in that moment right now. When we start to focus on these pleasant experiences, these things that are good or that are working well for us during the day, we start needing to look for them. We have this positive bias, so we start looking for these good things, especially when we're trying not to repeat ourselves in a gratitude journal. We start to look for other good things that might be happening during the day that help us feel good. So I'm going to leave it with you, and my challenge to you is to have a think about 3 things today that are going well, that went well, and to maybe talk about this with your loved ones, with your families, or keep a journal and actually talk about, this went well because, this was pleasant because. So when we elaborate on this, it contributes to this feel-good moment. So I hope you have enjoy the rest of the day and are able to get outside and appreciate and be grateful for the beautiful blue sky that we have today, and the fact that it's not it's a really pleasant temperature in Melbourne, so have a lovely afternoon and evening, and I will be coming to you again soon. And keep following along on Instagram, and head over to my Facebook page, Enhanced Life Psychology, and follow me there. And have a look at my website, enhancedlife.com.au, and I've got a blog there as well. So thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye.